As we're back with another Tower God New World videos. Today we're going to be covering the upcoming events that we're going to be having in our alliances. That's going to be Alliance Expedition, which is going to be basically like our guild boss, if you will. So we're going to be covering exactly what it is and how you partake in it and what kind of rewards you'll be getting. First off, basically the expedition is going to be divided into a search phase and a boss battle phase. So during the search phase, you must work with fellow Alliance members to explore the map and obtain Alliance weapons. And then you basically have 4 teams, I guess, maximum, that you could dispatch. And then it says you basically use daily search attempts to eliminate the cloud tiles and search for objects. So this is going to be like the cloud tiles is right here, is all this. And basically you just clear out the map, and I'm assuming every single plus that's all around the border is going to be every member in your alliance. Alright, conquer the island objects. When you discover this type of tile, a battle would take place. Win the battle to complete that search attempt. So as you're exploring, you have, you have these little lands. I'm assuming this is where you start off at, and then each time you get to like a certain land, it will also be like a battle of some sort. At least that's what it appears to be. And then of course you can also get chests as well. As you can see, they open the chest over here. So you probably open the chest here, and then maybe you can find other chests throughout the map. Treasure chest objects. When you discover the type of tile, you'll receive rewards and complete that search attempt. So yeah, every time you move one space, I believe that is the search attempt. And you have 5 daily. And it says the season ends within 2 days and 21 hours. So you'll have at least 15 searches. At least 15 searches. Which should be quite enough, because if you look over here, look on the left hand side, it says 1 out of 21, and they cleared out that one spot. And if you count like your total members, like at least your lowest amount of members would be 30, right? Like if you're filled up at the lowest alliance level, then you should be able to clear this out very easy. Alright, the number of available search attempts will decrease every time you eliminate cloud tiles, battle conquered islands, and open treasure chests. So just as I was explaining, every time you move, you're going to lose 1 search attempt. You have 5 that you can do total a day. Completing the search allows you to search an adjacent cloud tile. So basically wherever you move dictates what spot you're able to search in. So if you go to this treasure chest right here, you can only move to the one up, here, here, or here. So only the ones next to them. And probably here as well. And then you obtain alliance weapons from current area, allows you to move to an adjacent area and begin another search. Now alliance weapons are weapons that activate alliance skills, which can be used in the boss battle for phase 2. Owning multiple alliance weapons allows you to increase the level of the alliance skills, helping you score higher in boss battles. So that's going to be the main focus when you're doing this. In the search phase, you're trying to find as many alliance weapons as possible to increase your damage output for your entire alliance. Enter battle. If one member is currently in battle, other alliance members cannot enter the same object battle. So basically, I believe this is when you are searching in the search area, and then you happen to be on a certain spot. Another ally in your alliance can't, go into that same spot while you're in the battle until after it's done. If you're defeated in the battle, then the HP is saved. It's recorded with how much loss the enemies have, and then if you decide to take it on again, you can fight it again, or if another teammate decides to fight that spot specifically, then they can kill it. So basically you all fight and compete against on certain spots, whatever, that if they're too hard, then you could have multiple members attack that specific spot. So I'm assuming maybe areas where you get alliance weapons, it might possibly be a lot more difficult, and you might take a couple of tries to actually defeat it. If you close the search page while in battle, the match will end, the results will not be recorded. So basically, don't crash, don't close the game, don't do none of that. Make sure you keep the game open, because if you do, you'll waste the search attempt, and then GG, you lost the search attempt trying to refresh, but that doesn't work. So here's the search rewards. Looks like this is the reward that you search, like when you're through cloud tiles. And then this is 20 suspendia. It says there's a daily participation reward when you use all your daily search attempts. I'm assuming that this might be something related to this. I could be wrong. This could just be from treasure chest since it kind of looks open and blurred out in the background. So yeah, these suspendiums might be from the treasure chest, and then you get these alliance coins from battles. It's the boss battle phase now, so we're going to be talking about the second phase of the actual guild event. So the boss battle phase becomes available once the search phase ends. In this phase, you can challenge the boss for battles. So you can see here that this whenever you switch to the next phase, so it'll be 2 days basically, or at least I'm assuming that it's going to be 2 days, just judging by the time. So it's going to be 2 days, and in those 2 days of the season, you have 2 attempts. So you fight the boss at least 2 times to do the maximum amount of damage as possible. And just like the search phase, if you close the game or it happens to, you know, crash on you or whatever, your results will not be saved, and you will lose your search attempt or battle attempt. So do make sure before you actually do attempt this that you're in a good environment, that your internet is good, whatever, your connection to your phone, whatever it may be. Make sure it's in perfect condition so you can do these without actually being a burden to your alliance. Alright, so you can see here on the right hand side and the left hand side, so we'll talk about the left hand side first. You have your alliance points at the top, and then your alliance ranking, and then you have the question mark here, which will show you how the, you know, the rules and, you know, what it is, explains a little bit of details, and you get your 100 suspendium. Then on the right hand side, you have the same similar setup. You know, your time until the phase ends. Your top right to see your record. So basically, like your 2 attempts to see the damages you did on them and replay them, whatever. You have your alliance rankings. You have your alliance info. I'm assuming this is probably going to be like if you check your alliance, you can see all the damage that all your members done. You have your alliance points once again, and your contribution points, which we're going to go into in a second as well. Your alliance skill, which is, you know, the skills that you obtained while you're doing the search phase. And then your 2 attempts, and then you have your challenge rewards, and they look very similar to how mock battle, and yeah, just very similar to how mock battle is, where basically you have like certain rewards, like, you know, little gears, gold, whatever. Alright, so the boss battle reward, you can obtain more alliance points with better rewards the higher the damage you dealt to the boss. So obviously you're going to be trying to score for as much damage as possible. Alliance points increase the alliance's rank in alliance expedition, and consequently grant better ranking rewards. So yeah, obviously, you know, you want to score high in your alliance ranking, so you guys could all get like better rewards, you know, better suspendium, whatever it may be. Then you have your season results and calculations. So the calculations will begin once the boss battle phase period is over. And then once the calculation is completed, rewards will be distributed based on your alliance and contribution rankings. So you have your alliance rankings, and you'll get these rewards. It basically will be all distributed to all alliance members, including those who didn't participate. So as long as you're part of the alliance, you'll get these rewards, the alliance ranking rewards. And it says at the time calculation begins, which is kind of weird. Normally I would assume that this would be after the calculations are all done and everything. Not sure why it says begin. Because normally you would want to make sure all the rankings are fine and there's no cheaters and whatever. But yeah, we'll see when it comes. Then you have the contribution ranking reward, where at the time the calculation begins, rewards will be distributed to the alliance members who played and directly contributed to the ranking the alliance achieved or whatever, you know? So it's basically going to be dictating like your own specific damage, how much you did. And then if a member entered the expedition but did not play, they will receive the lowest possible rewards. So even if you do not play, you'll still get rewards, but it'll be the lowest tier. And then contribution rankings will be distributed exclusively to those who entered or participated in the alliance expedition. You have all that basically, and that seems about it. So I think mainly how the challenge reward is going to go is going to be very similar also to mock battle, where you have certain tiers based on the damage you do. And you can see, like, obviously when you do mock battle, it has like times, you know, times 3, times 10, times 11, you know, like your chest count or whatever, like how many times you went past the level and killing, you know, Quan. I think it's going to be very similar to that, and that will dictate like the kind of rewards you get. Just extremely similar to Quant, I believe. Just judging based on it. It doesn't really show too much details about like typing or you know anything of the sort. So for now, we'll just assume that it's probably going to be neutral. There is a possibility that they might make it a type, but I feel like it's going to be neutral. I really think so. So obviously, you're going to be wanting to bring your single target DPSs because if it's only this boss, and more single target high damage dealers, that's going to be good. Of course, a lot of people build up Wang and a bunch of other AoE type characters, Rachel, whatever. But they should still work just as fine. But if you're going to be like maximizing your output damage, bring your high damaging single targets to get this out of the way. Yeah, I think that's about it. Doesn't seem to be anything else. I think I covered what I wanted to talk about. I'm still very curious on how this will work. Like, select one out of the maximum 4 teams to dispatch. Maybe it's like if your team dies, you need to use a different team. I'm not really sure. This is very confusing to me, but other than that, it's going to be basically all for the Alliance. So let me know what you guys think. And I'll see you guys on the ranking boards. Peace.